For my deep dive vlog, I will be shedding light on a topic that affects women all around the world and that I believe connects to my group's topic of collegiate women's activism, but just women's activism in general. So, for women around the world, dress codes continue to be a contentious issue. Some individuals may argue that dress codes are necessary for maintaining an appropriate appearance in an appropriate working environment, but this argument does not consider the negative impacts that dress codes have on women's mental health and self-esteem. It becomes clear that dress codes contribute to a negative schooling environment as well as a negative societal environment in general, because dress codes are just outdated means of sexism and misogyny, and they should not be tolerated. An article entitled The Everyday Sexism Project, which catalogs all forms of sexist actions that women are subjected to in everyday life, shares its opinion on dress codes, and the author of this specific article on dress codes, Maureen Shaw, argues that they contribute to a societal issue of objectifying women's bodies. She writes that they specifically police girls' clothing and do not encourage anything but a culture of body shaming. They also foster a culture of harassment, assault, and rape. This is so because what a woman is wearing and judging a woman for what she is wearing puts the responsibility on a woman to be modest, to not be able to share their own identity or choices, and it normalizes putting the blame on victims rather than the assaulters, because what a woman is wearing does not in any means make it okay to assault her or to stalk her or to make her feel uncomfortable. Another argument against dress codes is that it establishes the idea that women's bodies are inherently sexual and that you need to be ashamed of that and cover that up, when specifically in schools, younger children are told you have to wear certain shirts or you can't reveal your shoulders or certain amounts of skin. You're sending such a negative message, specifically to children, to grow up and think it's okay to shame someone for their body or to objectify a woman based on what she's wearing. It's just not okay to say that that is distracting, which is schools' number one arguments for why they have to implement a dress code. Similarly to that argument, a video for Vox News, written and produced by Anna North, argues that dress codes contribute to the larger issues of sexism and discrimination against women in schools and workplaces. She explains that dress codes have become a way to enforce gender norms and to police women's bodies. By focusing on women's clothing choices, dress codes contribute to a culture of misogyny where women are based on their appearance rather than their skills or abilities. It's no longer about what a woman has achieved, but how she's choosing to represent herself, and making women wonder how they have to dress to impress people or to represent themselves can cause extreme emotional turmoil, specifically for individuals who are already struggling maybe with their gender identity or their sexuality or things like that. To, on top of that, tell them that they're not dressing appropriately or not dressing the way a woman should has tremendous effects on their emotional well-being. And finally, the last article I want to bring up is from The Guardian, and it's written by Julia Bindel. She argues that dress codes are not only harmful, but pointless. She writes that dress codes are a complete waste of time. They do not improve anyone's academic achievements or make anyone better at their jobs. Rather than focusing on dress codes, schools and workplaces should be focusing on creating comfortable environments where women are valued for their intelligence and abilities rather than their appearance. Overall, dress codes are just outdated, and they are means to make an individual feel shamed and uncomfortable. They contribute to larger societal issues of sexism, discrimination. They perpetrate harmful stereotypes about women and their bodies, and they're placing responsibility on women for other people's actions. They control how they dress, but that doesn't mean that they should control how someone perceives them, and that shouldn't be on the forefront of their mind. That shouldn't be what they're having to worry about. They should be able to focus on making themselves feel comfortable and seen in society and be able to get an education or just work Why does it matter what they're wearing?